let's talk about some common misconceptions about the Toyota Prius. You know, people are so funny. Over on my other channel, ROBMOTIVE, I was talking about the new Tacoma and some of the mods and things on it, and somebody actually commented, you don't need all those mods. I see you more as a Prius kind of guy. You know, ironically, they're right. I am a Prius kind of guy because this new Toyota Prius is awesome. But I think there still are a lot of misconceptions out there from people who don't really know what they're talking about. So let's run through the top 6 Prius misconceptions. Number 1, it's gutless. It has no power. It can't get out of its own way. Well, I would say, first of all, that that's true in the prior generation. It used to be a dog, horribly slow, designed solely for fuel economy, economic benefit, or environmental benefit. Economic, I guess, if you're looking to save money on gas. But no longer is the Toyota Prius that way. The previous generation, for example, had a 0 to 60 time of about 13 seconds. I could probably run 0 to 60 quicker than 13 seconds. Well, in my dreams. But anyway, the new Prius, what I'm sitting in right now, 0 to 60 in right around 7 seconds, maybe a shade under if it's a really good day and you have the right model. It is freaking awesome. Now, it's not some kind of a drag strip car or something. I mean, obviously. But nonetheless, it's still pretty quick. And did you know it's actually faster than what some of the old Ferraris used to be? That is a huge misconception. The Prius is no longer gutless. Number 2, it's tight. It's tiny inside. Now, it's not a Toyota Tundra. It's not a minivan, but it's certainly not tight in here. I mean, take a look around and what you can see in the peripheral. There's plenty of room in here for a normal sized person. I mean, if you're 6'8", 280 pounds, you're going to be tight in here. Of course, you're going to be tight in any vehicle that size, right? Now, somebody like me who is slightly above average at 5'9" and a half, about 180 pounds or so, it's perfectly comfortable in here. I have plenty of room to stretch out. The good thing is, though, I can still reach things. If something falls over on the floor or in my seat over there, I can reach it. I don't have to lay across half of the cab to get to it. Plenty of room in the back. People can fit back there, again, of normal size. I don't know what some of the talking heads are talking about. I think maybe they're taking it to the extreme, and they are referring to the people who are vertically gifted. Normal people, plenty of room inside the Toyota Prius. Number 3, it's only for tree huggers. What? Tree huggers? Is that a bad thing? I mean, wanting to take care of the planet where we live, is that a bad thing? I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. People like to make it that way. But it's not just for tree huggers anymore. It's fun to drive. It moves, it corners, it handles, it feels good. Did you know we even have a sport mode in the new Prius? That tightens the steering up a little bit. So if you're taking the twisties, you can enjoy them even a little bit more. The looks of the car, I mean, it is sexy. It is a sexy looking car. No longer is the Prius the joke of the automotive world. It is fun to drive, and it is not only for tree huggers. And what's wrong with getting good fuel economy anyway? I don't know. Number 4, you can easily get what you want as far as trims or models go with the Toyota Prius. Now, this isn't necessarily a good thing. This is a bad thing. That is a misconception that you can go out and pick one up, maybe even build one and get it the way that you want it. I know from personal experience, you can't do that. This was my 3rd Toyota Prius before I was finally able to write that check and drop my dimes on a Toyota Prius. They're just not very readily available. That's because, well, there's 2 reasons. 1, Toyota's not building a ton of them. And 2, they're in high demand. If you go out and you search the Toyota inventory in your site for the Prius, you're going to find that most of them say sale pending, sale pending, sale pending. It's because people are grabbing them out of allocation, which, by the way, is really the only way you can actually get a Toyota Prius. Unless you get lucky and one happens to come in and lands on the dealer website because maybe it's, I don't know, the wrong trim line or somebody backed out is probably the case. 3 times it took me to get mine, and I had to pick it up on allocation. Number 5, you can't travel in it. It's too confining. It's too slow. It would be no fun to take a cross-country trip. Now, let me preface this first off by saying I have not taken a long distance trip. About an hour or so at a time is the length that I've spent in the car. But that is enough time for me to realize that this would make a fantastic cross-country traveler, and I'm going to do it. In a few months, I'm going to be sitting in this car for about 22, 24 hours, something like that, one way. Now, it'll be split up into 2 different trips, I guess. But I'm going to do it, and I know it's going to be good because it's comfortable. The seats are nice and plush. I don't sit in here feeling like I'm sitting on a piece of cardboard or a piece of plywood or something that's going to make me shift around, make my back hurt. It feels good. Everything is positioned in here properly so that I'm not putting a lot of strain on anything. And you know, that all comes into play when you're doing a long distance trip, right? If you're going to feel how bad a car is, you're going to know it after you're sitting in it for about 5 hours. No problems like that with the Prius. Also, you may notice, I don't know if you can see, I've got the back seats down. There's plenty of room for luggage and stuff that I want to bring with me in the back. No problem at all. That is a big misconception. Lastly, you can't mod the Toyota Prius. By mods, if you're not familiar, I mean kind of personalize it. Put your own touches on it. Add things to it. Now, you can't put, well, you shouldn't anyway, lifts on it, 33-inch tires, things like that. But there are some things you can do. I've modded the front end of it in the form of changing the color of the Toyota emblem up there. I've debadged it. I've put window tint on it. There are several things you can do to mod the car to make it your own. I love it. It's awesome. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, kind of run through the biggest misconceptions that I hear, things that people are saying that are just downright wrong about the Toyota Prius. Leave a comment. Let me know if you agree, particularly if you have one. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.